Ken Johnson. It's my 1968 Corvette Stingray. What made me decide to purchase this car? One of my sons wanted a C3 Corvette project. A friend of mine that I went to college with called me one day, said his dad had a car in the barn. His dad had passed away, and asked me if I was interested in it. So we went and looked at it. It had a big block in it, but it was a real disaster, and I didn't want anything to do with it. I've had Corvettes before, and they're difficult at best. We came and drug it out of the barn, brought it home, and the first day we got it home, we got the fluids kind of taken care of, and we cranked the car up, drove around the neighborhood the first day we got it out of the barn. But boy, it was horrible. I knew that it wasn't going to be an easy project, but my older son was really insistent that he wanted a C3 project, so that's why we ended up with this car. This one made a lot of sense because it had good family ties, and I had good memories of this family and my friend. He was a good man, and I felt good about taking his car out of the barn. The car really was a Frankenstein as far as what it had. It was originally silver. It was originally had an automatic transmission, so it had some really cool things going for it. I would have liked to have gone back silver with the car. My son didn't want silver, wanted black, so we went black. He didn't want an automatic transmission, he wanted a 4-speed, so we put a 4-speed in it. Someday he'll inherit this car, and so we did things the way he wanted them. In the process of building the car, I started kind of looking around, and I found a guy online, and I called him, and it turns out he wasn't far from me. He jumped in his car, he came over, and he started looking at the car. But what I didn't realize is this guy would turn out to be such a great friend. And before long, this guy was involved with the project to the point where he was telling me what kind of rear end gears we needed to go with a 4-speed transmission, and what kind of cam to pick to go with the gears in that transmission to go with the rear end gears to make the car really drive the way it should. This car drives amazing. There's no bogging. When you hit the accelerator, it pushes you back hard. It's got all that big block torque. It's such a fantastic car to drive. This car is exactly the way my son wants it, and it really is a blast to drive. Kim Barr put together a really special engine for us. Forged pistons, every part in the engine, down to the rockers, the way they adjust and everything. Put it on the dyno, broke it in. In fact, the engine sat a long time while we went into the bodywork phase of it. I have a bodywork guy, Jose, and he'd come over every night after work. He'd work all day at the body shop, and he'd come over after work, and Jose and I would sit out here in the driveway, and he'd put Bondo on, and he'd take Bondo off. We started learning things about the car, where it had been hit, where it had been bumped, and we spent 6 months doing body work on the car. I was lucky enough to get all the right people together, and I think as a result, we built a pretty special car. On the day when you turn the key and the engine starts in the car for the first time, it's like a baby being born. I know this car is better than it was when it came off the factory floor in 1968 with GM. Getting to do something like this with my kids, you know, what a blessing that is, to be able to have sons that are interested in it and want to do it with me. Really is special. I could really care less about the car, but the memories that we have together, and they'll have this car someday, but the memories that we have together working on it, that's what I want them to have, right? Not so much the car as the memories. I hope when they get in this car, I'm gone, they get in this car and they drive this car, those thoughts will come back, and they'll come back in a good way, you know? This car is over 50 years old. And it's still pretty special for a car that's over 50 years old. So you hope when you have something special, another 50 years from now, it should probably still be special, maybe even more special. Yeah, this car will still be loud, and this car will still be badass even 50 years from now. Yeah.